We force ourselves too much, get too much, until we forget just being. Hi, I'm Isabel Rolo, and welcome to the show, Let It Shine. Hello, welcome to Let It Shine show. Today is with that Erika Stelcik. Welcome to Let It Shine show, Erika.
Thank you.
And for the people that they don't know who is Erika,
I'm many things. The main thing is being a nutritional consultant, and so that's the main focus of my business. But I love helping people to assess and address their nutritional deficiencies so that they live happier, they live healthier, they get more energy throughout the day, they sleep better, and their digestion works great. So it's helping them to reach their optimal health.
The bigger issue right now with the nutrition?
There's several of them. One of them is dealing with fatigue. People don't realize that being tired all the time chronically is actually a nutrition problem. So it's really kind of taking a look at what is going on with them, what are they eating, and how are their bodies compensating for not eating the right nutrition.
The right nutrition is different in each individual?
Yes, I would believe so, yeah. Majority of people, when they are tired, they will go off and reach for caffeine or sugar, any sort of snacks that they can get, just to pump up their blood sugar to give them more energy. But what they don't realize is that when they're drinking all that, the Red Bulls and the coffee and the teas, and they're eating all the sweets, like the cakes and the cookies in the afternoon to get more energy, they're actually bankrupting their health, because they may work on the short term so that they give you a little bit of energy initially, but in the overall picture, it's actually hurting your adrenal glands, which are of course producing hormones that you need to give you, keep you going throughout the day. So it's a mixed blessing to be dealing with those short-term things when you should really be eating better long-term and improving your health.
What else should be eating for having more energy? But you say that it's different in each person.
It is different, but what I focus on is real food. I want people to be eating foods that are minimally processed.
What is a real food?
Real food to me, you're right, it's a tough thing. Real food to me is eating food that's minimally processed. And when you go to the grocery store, it's the fruits and the vegetables. It's the things that man hasn't really messed up too much. So when you go into the grocery store, it's like there's the good proteins to be eating, good sources of fats to be having, as well as your fruits and vegetables, which people are not eating enough of right now.
So fruits and vegetables, you would say that is number one right now?
Definitely.
Organic, no organic, or doesn't matter?
Organic is a better step, definitely. But I tell people, take whatever step you need. If you're at this point and you don't have a lot of money, just the fact that you're going off and eating more vegetables and fruits is going to benefit you in the long run. If you can do organic, great. If you can do grass-fed or pasture-raised animal products, great. But take a step from where you're at.
Every day?
Everyday foods. Well, aside from fruits and vegetables, which I think should be part of our diet, it should dominate our diet. Good fats are going to help give us energy throughout the day as well. And you don't have to be relying on the caffeine or the refined sugars. There are some, fruits are good sources of energy too, because they provide you with natural sugars. And, they make life a little bit more fun because they add a little bit of sweetness to it without overdoing it and having the refined stuff. So basically, fruits and vegetables is the mainstay. And with some people, sometimes I recommend that they add a little bit of unrefined sea salt to their diet, because they're actually deficient on minerals, and sometimes that will help to give them energy as well. So and support the adrenal glands that I referred back to earlier.
You recommend to take vitamins?
Yes. I think our soils where our foods are growing are really depleted at this point, and we need to be supplementing. But I would be very careful to focus on whole foods supplements. Supplements that are based on whole foods rather than fractionated, like the separate, fractionated isolated vitamins. It's, get your minerals and your vitamins from fruit. and vegetables, and supplements that are made from fruits and vegetables.
But the vitamins is something chemical because it's making...
I would say 99% of what's out there that you see, even in the natural health food stores, is synthetic. And so you really need to, there's only a few companies nationwide that actually produce multivitamins that are whole foods based. Yeah, so those are the ones that are a little bit more natural and they don't have the chemical junk that you need to be concerned about.
Any magic fruit that you recommend or is your favorite?
My favorite fruit is an avocado.
Avocado. Is a fruit or is a vegetable?
It is considered a fruit, yes, but I like avocados because they're full of monounsaturated fats, which our bodies need, and they give us energy, and it's a good source of fat, a good fat. And so most people aren't eating enough good fats. There's like two main problems. They're either eating too much sugar, refined sugar, or they're not eating enough good fats. So that's why I point to avocado, because for me it's low sugar.
How often the avocado?
I'm sorry?
How often we must eat?
Personally, because I know my own situation, I would say I eat an avocado a day. One whole avocado. But some people...
For breakfast, for dinner?
Usually actually mostly for breakfast. I actually make a green smoothie that really just gives me energy throughout the rest of the day.
What will be a good breakfast?
A good breakfast would include some amount of protein. I see way too many people not eating protein in the morning. They're having a piece of toast with orange juice. They're not, and then they crave sugar 2 hours down the way, you know, or later in the afternoon they crave sugar. So part of relieving fatigue symptoms is just stop eating so much sugar in the morning and have some proteins. Have some eggs in the morning. Have some bacon
How the egg? Like boiling it or frying it?
Yeah, hard boil is great because then you can make a whole bunch of them over, in one day and have it last over the week. You can also, pan fry them. When I have eggs, sometimes I'll use a little bit of coconut oil because coconut oil is a great source of energy and it tastes so good.
It smells so good too.
Yes, exactly. It just perfumes the air. But I would have that and scramble up some eggs. And then you're getting some protein. It's going to help your blood sugar stay stable throughout the day. You won't have to reach for that donut midday, to give you more energy because you've got it from the start.
You tell me whatever comes into your mind.
Okay.
With your experience.
Okay.
Milk.
Milk, my preference is you can drink milk if you can. Some people are intolerant to milk and they don't know it, but it's causing them digestive issues and they haven't made that connection that it's the milk that's causing the problem. A lot of people who are lactose intolerant can actually drink raw milk, which is available in some areas around here in California, and that actually has a lot of good nutrition in it. I'm really more for the raw milk versus the pasteurized stuff because the pasteurization process kills a lot of the good bacteria that we need to replenish our colon.
So you recommend milk?
I recommend more of the raw milk for people who can tolerate. I personally cannot have raw milk or pasteurized milk. It just causes me problems. So I've learned to cut it out of my diet. When I think of food as poison, I don't eat it anymore because every time I try to eat it later, it doesn't agree with me and my body lets me know that I'm not supposed to eat it.
Bread.
Bread is one of those tricky things. Some people can tolerate grains, but most people actually cannot. And I would say most people cannot eat gluten. They try, but it's one of those things like milk where they're eating it, but they don't realize that that's the reason why their digestive system is off. And so for some people, it can be recommended and they're okay to have it. But I would say most people could actually live a lifestyle. That's what a lot of the paleo diet is staying away from the breads and the grains and that sort of thing. So I'm kind of
iffy. It's more like meat, fruits?
It's more, it's one of those things that could go either way. Yeah, it could be positive, it could be negative. It just depends on the person.
Meat.
I love meat. I love meat. I will admit it. I've tried to be a vegetarian a few times in my life, and it just didn't work. I ran low on energy. I wasn't feeling good. And for some people, they need to eat meat because their iron levels are low.
The more of the guys, they must love you because normally they love meat. And they
Yeah,
care
but
for
you
the
know, I
nutritionist.
also advocate bacon too,
Okay.
in the right forms, without the nitrates and the chemical junk, because it is a good source of good saturated fats that we need in our diets.
Okay.
Yeah, because 50% of our cell membranes for our body are made up of saturated fat, and people don't realize that. So when they don't get some of it in their diet, their cell membranes are like falling apart. They don't have the structure that they need to keep us up.
How often?
How often to,
For example, meat.
for eating
milk.
meat? I think it varies with the person.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on what's going on with you health-wise, and if there is some nutritional value that you're getting from meat that you're not getting from other sources that you need to, to eat to supplement.
Fish.
Fish, I love fish. But you have to be careful with fish because of all the toxins that we're dealing with. Our world is much more toxic than it was, 100 years ago. And so there are some fish that you kind of have to be careful, farmed versus wild fish, and where the source is coming from, what country it's coming from, because our standards for toxicity that we check for
They need passport,
fish,
right?
yeah, I know, kind of, sort of, exactly, yeah. It is going to make a difference on where the fish is coming from. But I'm all for fish, especially the fatty fish, because we're not getting enough omega-3s. That's going to help with our brain function. We need to be eating them.
What do you think that will be the major problem or the major concern right now?
The worst, yeah. It goes back to my 2 points earlier. One, watch your refined sugar intake, because that is by far.
No sugar?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily no sugar. It's just no refined sugar in particular. People are just eating sugar too much in general. And that means too many breads, too much pasta, too much rice, too much cakes and cookies and everything else. It's become the mainstay of our diet. Yeah, and talk about energy swings. You eat a lot of sugar, your energy is bouncing all over the place. Yeah, so that's like the biggest factor. And then the other factor would be eating good fats. We are lacking in good fats, and it's causing a problem.
Thank you for coming to
You're
Let It
welcome.
Shine.
This has been fun. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to having you here.
Yes.
Thank you for educating us.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
One last question.
Okay.
Honey versus sugar?
Honey, I do like. It is still high in sugar, but if you're only using a little bit, which honey has a distinct taste, that it's a natural sugar, so I like that much more than like the white refined sugars that are out there.
Versus agave?
I am not a fan of agave.
Okay, so better
Yeah.
stay with honey.
Yeah, stick with honey. Yeah, it's a much more natural form of sugar than agave.
But that one was a sweet thing. I mean, perfect to finish Let It Shine show today with you. Thank you again for coming
You're
to
welcome.
our show and educate us about nutrition.
Definitely.
Thank you, Erika. And just remember, eat right and let it shine.